What about the new one up there?
Hey, sit next.
What about that?
Save me a shit.
Yeah.
New. Okay, so then what's that one? Oh, that's the new one that I thought was in the box. So we have 3 printers, but none of them are plugged in, and the one that's plugged in doesn't work.
I'm here by myself. It's brutal.
Anyone?
Yeah, the cool mysterious
Were they the same printer?
back of the room, you know.
They're all
I
different.
feel like it's been
One's like a laser printer, one's a
Mystery.
printer, one's a
Things
I've
going
seen
on.
Mike.
scanner.
I'll be like every 2 or 3 meetings, like I'll come to 2 and have to miss one, and
Yeah.
It's not my wheelhouse.
Matt, and then I show up.
I just smile and say,
Oh,
oh,
Matt,
They have it when I
I haven't seen you forever.
one for Andrew's office, one for Sarah's office, one
Oh.
for my office that I brought down from home
Uh-huh.
that I had on the shelf in the back room. Something dies, I got a spare somewhere.
see?
That's a good idea.
Well, we were cleaning out our big shop at one point, and we were going to the recycling, and Ted's like, oh, hold on, I got some more. And he's going at different parts of the shop and pulling out. Why do we have 24 computer towers? Well, I was rebuilding it for new life. Okay. Melody graduated
There's getting a lot of kids down there
2016.
with all the stuff going on in your
Yeah.
I think we can, I'm pretty sure we can
You know,
go
It's,
all.
Really sure that
the publicity or
Yeah.
free
changed ever since.
public relations. I hope.
We'll go with that.
I
yeah.
hope.
Yeah.
We get when we do those car washes, those folks come in just so grateful. We made so much money for those kids. I'm like,
Great.
who were you again? Which group?
What deal is that?
And so how much is 2%?
Right. Yeah. So now we come to the awkward part.
Yeah. This parking lot has
Right.
a little bit of cost to upkeep.
We can't just gift water. Oh, wait a minute. That's
Some of their dresses, I think.
Saturday night when that car club meets down there and you hear them revving up, burning out, you're like, please don't be my parking lot. Please don't be.
Okay, even if I got the house.
Welcome to gather. Welcome to be there. Please don't rip the thing down. Don't
Take your trash with you when you leave.
No.
Nobody looks good in that. Nobody.
It's not.
At least you're not mirrored this time.
I like it.
Thank you.
Hey, we are straight. That's awesome.
Like
Wait,
self-conscious.
Restart the meeting.
Yeah, I don't like that it's.
So does you get to see a roster of everybody that tunes in?
So the Teams meeting is only accessible through what I give the link to.
Oh.
People watching at home are watching our YouTube, which is streaming this. So
Oh.
YouTube is just an open platform.
Oh, so you don't get to see who's there, huh?
Ray, I did reply. He kept harassing me. Please reply. I did.
Is that
Please reply. I did. Please reply. Oh,
just
I have to put my name.
layman's
Oh, so you can see it.
registered with Teams?
Sorry, Ray. My bad.
I
Didn't you
I have
consider scheduling that? My September is filling up.
the service to make this, but
Oh, you did.
how does it connect to good
Obviously, I'm the problem.
service that you pay for? Probably.
Oh, I did see those.
Right.
Like 4 chunks. Yeah, yeah. Okay. No, I did see that.
Yeah.
no
I
mic.
forgot all about that.
No mic.
Oh, that's how it. It's how it marries the two platforms.
Yeah, it's a free service. And
Oh.
we have programs you can pay for, but
Why would you?
it's free streaming.
And into your record, dude.
After we'll upgrade down the road,
Yeah.
but it's all learning curve at this point. So I'd rather do the.
Yeah, that's good. Call the meeting to order. Let the roll call show that Mike's not with us tonight. Need a motion to excuse.
So moved.
Thank
Second.
you. All in favor?
I
I
Fire.
Opposed? I'll wait. Pledge of Allegiance. Everybody says. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You okay, Katie? All right. So note, we are recording the meeting. I don't think there are any additions or corrections to the agenda, so council action.
In front of you, hopefully you've received your council packet. This is seeking permission for the Phase 2 environmental site assessment. The importance of the Phase 2 environmental site assessment is it allows us to show due diligence. And it's kind of a restart if there is any kind of finding of environmental cleanup efforts that have to be partaken in at a later time. So it just resets for us. We've done due diligence, we've done our homework, and lets us use that innocent purchaser defense in the future.
All right.
Questions?
Yeah, I vaguely recall a comment that the site was previously used for before Rite Aid built on it that had some concerns, or the Rite Aid did a partial kind of assessment or something, or
Yeah, so it was a service station for many years. It had some above ground petroleum storage as well, tanks. There were also some underground heating oil storage tanks for the homes that were there. When Rite Aid bought it, they did a phase 1 and they did a phase 2. In the phase 2, they chose to dig in some areas where there was no tanks or storage, but not all of them. And so for this phase 2, being that it's been capped with the asphalt in the building, there's not any concern of additional, but we're going to drill in the places and soil sample the places that were not last time. So between the two of them, every known storage point where there could have been a spill will have been tested.
There was a pretty good map in the packet from the company we're using that showed the approximate locations of different stuff as current aerial view with outlines of where buildings were, which I was shocked. I had no idea half that stuff was there, but
Back in the time machine to pull those out.
yeah, Ray and I had a conversation about the costs. I see those pretty typically in my job, and I thought it was high, but we are expediting every phase of that test and report, so that's why the cost is a little more than what we normally see. But
And I'll take some responsibility for that. I didn't think we'd have to do a phase 1 and a phase 2 since it had already been done. And then randomly having a conversation with our environmental attorney on our other issue and kind of mention it. And he's like, oh, Ray, they
gotta do it.
changed 10 years ago. You really need to do it.
and sometimes depending on the age of the reports, you can have the same company go back and update without pulling new ones. But given the age, I don't think you could do that. When I talk to Ray, I'd see phase 2 usually is about 20 grand, depending on how many tests they run. But with as many sites as there are known on that property, I can see, yeah, and the expedited fees, it's going to be spendy.
A lot of sites that they have to look at, which makes sense for the size of property.
She had asked, the final number was
42, I think.
42,000. So for me, this is Captain Retail talking here, but everything has a price. So I don't know that you could have any kind of a actuarial assessment of what the potential risk is versus the known cost of this thing is and say that this adds up. This is, I had some hesitation when it was 8,000. Like, yeah, that's a lot of money just to check a box and cover our butt. I get why we're doing it. I get what the risks are and stuff like that. I think we're well beyond what I would consider to be a cost-effective thing and well into rip-off territory is my take on this. So I take issue at the cost benefit at this point. At the front end of it, this felt like a answer to a question no one was asking. This is like if I was buying a cabin in the woods and my wife was suggesting we really should have an environmental study to see if there's an endangered species here or if there's any Native American tribal. Why would you ask this question? Why would you bring this up? I know what we're trying to do, but we're either in this or not. I don't know that we're going to change our mind. And we, for all our trouble, just going to end up with a partially ripped up parking lot or something like that. So
I agree, man. It's a dark force because it will only be worthwhile to do the expense if we have to use results from the study to validate the expense. If nothing ever happens, when do you, I mean, I'm not challenging, but at some point you go, well, 20 years later, as we're down at the senior center having lunch, we go, well, that was kind of a waste of money, but only if shit doesn't hit the fan, but if, it'll be very effective and very cost appropriate if all of a sudden 5 years or 10 years down the road, something comes up and we have to go back to that for validation. So I totally understand both sides. So,
Don't you equate it kind of to buying insurance?
Pretty much.
You spend the money, and if you don't ever use it, you think, why did I spend the money? But heaven help you if you had a bad accident and you needed it.
But there you jump into the price.
Yeah, exactly.
You'll hear people say, well, you have to buy health insurance. There's no way you can. I mean, why would you take that? At what price? I 100% agree with that concept. If your health insurance is $100,000 a year and you're not already sick, I don't know what you're talking about. So there's just a price tag to everything.
So if this comes back in a negative way, would we change our mind? I guess what would come back that would make us not proceed with purchasing? If it comes back as contaminated or whatever.
Mhm. That would be a decision for you to make. At that point, generally, then you look at a phase 3, where I've never been down. Well, I've been after the phase 3 was done. I haven't gone from the phase 2 to phase 3, but I would guess we would then turn to the property owner and say, hey, we found X, Y, and Z. That needs to be mediated for or remediated before we're willing to purchase it.
All right.
In which case, again, depending on what it is, it could stop us from purchasing it. Maybe it's, it's one local area. Let's continue with the purchase contingent upon we clean this up. The answer would probably vary depending on what comes back, but you would certainly have the ability to say, no, we're not taking that risk.
So maybe it's just me, but help me understand what would be so severe that we would say you'd have to fix this or we're walking away.
Ground contamination.
Yeah, if they go there and they found that there's
Ecology might say you need to dig out 40 feet across and 80 feet down to make sure that,
Because there was leakage in one of the tanks or something.
and it could be
That's
such
what I'm getting at is they're not saying that already. Rite Aid's been there for how long? They're not going to randomly call that. So by doing this study, does that then highlight and call the need to remedy something that nobody's asking for an issue of in the first place?
But I think they only checked, correct me if I'm wrong, they only checked certain locations that didn't have tanks or storage.
So are you saying there's a possibility that Department of Ecology could come and say, we've been informed there's something on your property, and we can say we didn't know anything about it because we didn't do our due diligence?
in which case we're liable.
Correct. But that's what I'm getting at is like,
Exactly what could.
this would be something that would, in the off chance the Department of Ecology came to Matt's point, nobody's saying there's an issue today. So why would we, I'm getting at like, why would we think, what would be different today that would make us think Department of Ecology would have a reason to come and ask?
Here's an example. Let's say they dug up Nat Washington Way to lay a pipeline and they find oil.
No, I'm
And
with
it's
you.
coming from the property and we own it. Then we will, if we have not done this, then we are liable for any contamination coming from that property. And
I understand
ecology
liability and pollutants and all of the things that come with that. I'm just saying, what would change in the space, property, or situation that would prompt a request like that? Because how long has it been Rite Aid?
98.
Okay, so it's 27 years that nobody's prompted anything further at that location, partially because they did a partial study. It wasn't a full study or the whole site would have been done. But I'm just getting at, to Matt's point, I do understand the need for that. And, I work in insurance. I totally understand protecting yourself and doing your due diligence and things like that. But at the same time, something to consider for us. And I'm not advocating. I'm just trying to think out all the options here. What would make us think that this would be something that would be prompted today versus why wasn't it prompted in the last 27 years?
I don't think the larger phase study is in reaction to potential that we miss something. I think that it's kind of like covering ourselves for absolutely everything that you're talking about. There's no reason probably in the next 40 to 50 years that anything's going to come back on that property. But that's the definition of probably.
Right.
There's always a percentage of somebody else is doing work next door or on the street or something else, some unforeknown, anything that's going to happen. It probably isn't. But are we willing to take that bet and save $40,000?
Right. And it could be millions
And
if something happens. Yeah.
Let me ask it a different way. What, I guess, because I think you said it, the innocent purchaser. We're doing this to claim we didn't know. I guess what's the protections? What protections do we get from being an innocent purchaser? If we do all these things, but yet something does happen, they come along the way. I guess, what does the innocent purchaser protection get us?
In the timeline.
Yeah, you can't claim you didn't know when you didn't do your due diligence.
Right.
So you're just on the hook.
Right. And so,
Right.
Let's say Granco decides they want to do something different, and they find something in their property when they do their due diligence. Oh, well, that probably came from next door because this site has never been that.
Yeah.
We're now liable. It's near a railroad track. There's a derailment of something. It's a truck route on Alder. If the truck has a spill in that vicinity, but when they get in there and they say, okay, we got to clean this up. Okay, now what does this mean? Oh, we found whatever the train and the truck did, but we also found this.
And now you have a bigger problem
And now,
in the city.
now we're going to be on the hook. It doesn't matter, as we've learned the hard way. We're 5.8 million into another cleanup. This would have alleviated us from that if we had that phase two. We've done due diligence, and then we would be able to say, we did due diligence. We know that this isn't from us, and we have not changed the use. Rite Aid did not change the use. So you need to go back after the companies that owned it or their insurance carriers prior to that.
I do think we have to consider too, we don't know exactly what construction will bring. So again, I'm not trying to take one side or the other, just weigh the options. Construction could mean we need some of that parking lot, we need some of the space, and that might mean whatever. I'm not a construction person, but digging, foundation pours, footings, like whatever that goes.
Disrupting yes.
And that could be, that to me is a more significant risk than ecology coming back, though I do think that would be the more significant money draw on the city.
So my question is it the cost that's the issue here, or is it, I mean, how much less of $40,000 does it need to be for everybody to walk out the door holding hands? Is it, if it would have cost us $10,000, we probably would think,
well, we did. I think that was kind of the
Right.
number we had was 8, and there was no objection at 8.
right.
I feel this way before, though, regardless of the number. I do think it is important to at least consider any expenditure, especially because we have talked about how tight things can be between 2 and 5,000 even. So being realistic about, what is the magic number? There isn't one. It's still money spent. So in reality, I think weighing what is the risk to the city, and you are, in a way here, you are resetting anything that happens from this point forward. We can say, look, we knew this wasn't us, and here's why, or we remedy what happens. So whatever the money is, it's just being good stewards of the money to say, is this really the best decision? And I think weighing all those things, not knowing what's coming in construction and protecting ourselves for any future liability does put us in a better position for the city money, because it could be significant amount of money if something were to come of this in the future. But I don't want to just spend money to spend money. So I wouldn't know. I don't have the same context as you on whether this is a fair price. I feel what you feel. It's frustrating that it's so expensive, but I almost want to build in like a plus or minus so that this is so tight on timing, then you can make decisions quicker so that you don't have to bring us together and it doesn't feel as rushed. And so you have a little bit of space so that you're not feeling that push. And neither are these companies who are quoting us because it's such a tight timeline.
Just so you're aware, the owner of the facility of the property has given us an extension, I believe he said, till the end of
Oh, good. That's nice.
but even then it's going to be tight to get it here, get it to the lab, get it tested, and then get a report to us.
Would they be willing to pay us to not do this? We're putting them in significant hot water potentially.
Again, they've kind of done.
I don't. That was a rhetorical question.
We can always ask. As Teresa says, you can always ask.
Yep.
Do you think they would give us a further extension if we can't make this timeline work? Because it's not we were talking about this before the meeting a little bit. It's not unheard of for those to get extended on those purchase and sales. If you've got testing and things you're trying to do, but it depends on a little bit if they have another buyer potentially lined up or something, but that doesn't seem to be the
Maybe
case.
they had an offer even more than ours.
So the question on that would be, at what point does the price come down? Is it scheduling to do the secondary one? I mean, what's the gain of extending that? It's going to be, we're going to expedite the process that's going to be done anyway. We either expedite it now at the cost that they've given us, or we go back in 3 weeks and they go, well, our scheduling again to get there at this time frame, we're going to have to kick it up again.
That's a good point.
These usually take 4 to 6 weeks.
Correct. Yep. Yeah, I mean, my only thought was if your purchase and sale closing date was extended, but you'd be talking about probably a 60 to 90 day extension, and that would allow you to get all this testing done and the report done without it being expedited, which would be cheaper. But you've got the offset of that. What's that going to do with your deal with our seller? I don't know.
It is worth
They'd
asking.
agree.
I mean, to your point, it can't really hurt to ask. We need to do this study. Can we extend? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. No,
Teresa would know, I guess, but
I would,
are you feeling like that's not probable?
I don't know. The reason that they're willing to extend it for us is what we sold them on is we don't need all the time to close that you normally close because we're essentially a cash buyer. So we're not really hurting the timeline in the long run by extending it on the front end.
Can you?
That was
Yeah.
the selling point.
Yeah.
The other thing is too, yeah, I don't know exactly how much more. I want to say the last time I saw phase 2, it was about 25-ish, 24 to 28,000. I'm not sure what this company, hey, if we were to buy this extra 4 weeks, I don't know how much that.
Whether it would save us that much or not,
Yeah.
it may not. I mean, I'm sure they're upcharging us a little bit for the expedited test, but is it 10,000? I don't know.
The last time I did it was pre-COVID, so.
Yeah.
No, it's very significant.
So I'll try not to reiterate anything I've already said. My point is that as somebody who buys general liabilities, and policies for different things, whether or not one of my guys miswires a range and burns someone's house down, or drops a refrigerator on a coworker and kills him, or one of my guys blows a stop sign and hits a school bus. This isn't even the ballpark of what kind of coverage you're talking about versus the premium. I don't have that number in front of me, but I'd love to know what the city's general liability policy costs us for all potential lawsuits and stuff like that. I bet it's not that much different.
You won't like it.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah.
But
Insurance is expensive for public entities right now.
anyway, it's beyond what I think anyone would do a calculation of what the cost benefit is. It isn't that there isn't a risk. It isn't that you aren't taking a gamble here. I think it's just beyond what the price tag can justify for me.
So you kind of have to guesstimate what the worst case scenario would be if we didn't do this. We're looking at millions of dollars of potential liability for something like that versus a understandably large $40,000 investment to never have to worry about that again.
I would also add, just as something to consider, Matt, if that were to happen and we were to end up in a situation where we were liable for something of any substantial value, it doesn't have to even be in the millions, your insurance rates will again go up and reflect that. And you may even lose your insurance coverage and have to find something else, which is more expensive, driven by your loss ratio, the rate. So the only way they can
It's all trade-offs.
Yeah. So, I mean, and I hear what you're saying. You're right. It is hard to justify the amount, but when you consider the cost of impact on insurance, should we have a loss that significant? It takes years to see that, but that's the sort of thing that ends up with your cost benefit. It's not as obvious, so it's not as sexy, really. But it does impact things in the long term.
Okay. What do you want to do? If you want to approve the environmental site assessment, then we need a motion to accept phase 2.
So move.
Thank you, Val. Second.
Second.
Thank you, Phil. All in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
All right. You could have cut 22 minutes off of that.
My bad. If it makes you feel better.
Passes,
Ah, it's
anything
important.
else?
I delayed date night, so my wife's angry sitting at me.
Meetings.
Well,
Just real quick, council, before we go, I'm going to send you an email on the SWOT analysis. We've worked with the EDC